Welcome to Batting Practice Live, presented by Taco Bell. We are live on @MLB Twitter from Houston, Texas, where it was a rainy afternoon yonder.
Yeah.
You could hear the rain pouring down. Hey, they even got a few drops here at Minute Maid Park inside the stadium. Luckily, things managed to stay dry. That's why you got a roof. I'm sure that's something Jose Altuve appreciates, and that's definitely something that Zach Wheeler is also going to appreciate tomorrow, although there isn't supposed to be rain in the forecast. But they say that everything is bigger in Texas, including the hats, and nothing is bigger than the Fall Classic, the 118th World Series. Winner of Game 1 goes on to win 22 of 27 World Series in the wild card era. I'm Sierra Santos, joined by Yonder Alonso. So does it surprise you, Yonder, when I tell you that Houston has lost Game 1 in 4 of their World Series appearances?
It's unbelievable. But you know what? It's like it just feels like the energy here is different this year, right? We were here last year, and it was like, well, you know, the Braves have a good team. The Braves got some hitters. The Braves can play some defense. The Braves kind of like just beat up on everybody during the postseason. Well, Houston hasn't lost the game yet. So
No.
I think for me, that's kind of more intriguing and special. Listen, it comes down to Justin Verlander, okay?
Sure.
And he's got to do his thing. He hasn't won his first a game that he started in the World Series just yet.
7 appearances.
7 appearances,
He is
0-6. I think today is that day where Justin Verlander comes to play.
See, I talked to multiple people about this as we were all sitting around getting makeup. Yeah, he even wears makeup too. But we talked a little bit about it, and I asked a couple guys, and they said that they weren't 100% sure. But you are dialed in. You're saying that Verlander gets his first World Series win today in Game 1.
And you know what? Something also sticks to me is the winner of Game 1, they've gone to win 22 out of the 27 World Series. I think he understands how big this game is for him. Not to say that, you know, for him, those other games weren't important, but he's just in a different state of mind. We've heard him talk about it in the post-conference. He said, hey, this year just feels different. You know, I'm here more engaged with the players. I'm here more engaged with the team. I'm not so worried about myself. All I want to do is win and compete. I think for me, Justin Verlander is going to be huge, as well as just that whole team, that they've been absolutely incredible.
You talking about a state of mind. The Phillies are a whole state of mind, man. They're not only playing so well throughout this postseason, but it's the way that they're playing. There is this genuine sense of joy, and they just seem enthralled. And their chemistry is really tough to beat.
Yeah, you know, I think something happened halfway through September. You know, this is a team that was on the road for almost 2 weeks. And for me, when you look at a team like that, you're on the road for a long time, you have to bond with the guys. And it's about those guys that are there at the moment. So I think for me, look, they've done a fantastic job. I think when you look at Rob Thompson, first Canadian manager to manage in a World Series, he's done a tremendous job. He's also a guy that's been around the game forever. But again, you're looking at a team that just won 87 games, and here they are in the World Series. I think good things are going to happen to the Phillies. This first game, though, is pivotal. They got to leave here at least 1-1, take it back to Philly, take it back to those fans, take it back to the cold. Give them that big first punch to Houston might be a challenge, but if it does happen, that's a hooray for them.
One of the largest win differentials between two opponents facing each other in the World Series as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Phillies lineup. I know you see a couple guys on here that you are dying to talk about, and one of them has to be Bryce Harper, who is making his World Series debut at the ripe old age of 30 years old.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Bryce Harper is clearly the real deal. He's been on an absolute tear. He's hitting over 400, 5 homers, 6 doubles, 11 RBIs. What can you say about this guy? He's been as clutch as he gets, and it just feels he comes to the scene every time with big key moments, and he delivers.
Is he the best player on the field?
It's really hard to say. There's another guy on the other side in Jordan Alvarez. Well, Bryce Harper right now is absolutely matching the baseball. I'll tell you what, though, in that lineup, Nick Castellano has to be huge for them, because he's got to be the protector that's going to protect Bryce Harper in big key situations. Because, see, you can get away from not pitching to Bryce Harper in kind of key moments where you have a base open or something like that. But Castellanos has to be that guy that's going to protect him and say, no. You're going to have to pitch to Bryce Harper, because if I'm coming up and I have a hot bat, I'm going to make you pay.
But Harper really is making his mark on this Phillies team in the postseason. He's got the most hits, extra base hits by a Phillies player in a single postseason. Yep. So we want to go ahead and take a look at the Astros lineup as well. I know that there's a lot of players on this squad as far as the Astros go that are picking up the slack that Jose Altuve is leaving.
Oh man, it's unbelievable. Look, I know Altuve hasn't done his thing, but I think by the end of this World Series, we're going to see Altuve's numbers stack up. I love what Alec Bohm and Jeremy Pena are doing to protect Jordan Alvarez, but it just comes down to these veterans, man. I think Kyle Tucker is going to be huge. Yuli Gurriel, my goodness, he feels like the older he gets, the more he hits. So, look, for me, it just comes down to those 6 guys. I think if those 6 guys in that first order can do their job, good things are going to happen. The thing with the Phillies is their defense. That's the only thing that worries me. If they can defend the baseball, good things are going to happen. If they have some miscues like they did in the last round with the Padres, the Houston Astros will make you pay. And if next thing you know, one error here, one error there, you're going to be looking at a crooked scoreboard in no time.
So Jose Altuve taking a couple hacks right there. We got live batting practice going on right behind us. He is 3 for 32 in this postseason. What's he got to do to turn it around?
It's funny. I talked to him earlier today.
Okay.
Said, what's up? Hey, what are you doing? How's everything? I want to see you in Miami.
You got
the whole
all the juicy details, so tell me what they are.
But I did talk to him, man. He just feels a little bit more patient, right? He's a little bit more chill. He talked to me about his timing. His leg kick has gotten a lot better. He's talking to me about staying behind the baseball. Watch out, because when hitters are talking that type of lingo, that type of language, it tells you they're slowing down the game, they're slowing down the pitching, they're slowing down velocity. Good things are going to happen for Altuve.
Did he seem relaxed? What was his demeanor like? You
know, he was just telling me, I was like, hey, what do you got? He goes, man, we're just going to try to beat a good Phillies team. And I think when I look at him, he's got that quiet presence of swagginess. He won't tell you like, hey, we're prepared, we're ready to go. But he kind of did tell me that. So I think he's going to be fine. I think Altuve's going to ball out. And look, watch out for Jeremy Pena. He's been unbelievable as well. He had so many good things to say about him as well. So I'm really excited for Altuve. I think when it's all said and done, he's going to be very, very clutch.
You know what the best part of doing this show with you is?
Talk to me.
Every single guy comes up and is like, "Yonder,
what up?
Every single player already knows you, so it's like there's no even need for an introduction.
Here's the thing. This is what happens when you play first base. Everybody that gets to first base is always happy, whether it's a walk, a base hit, whatever it is. They're always happy to see the guy at first base.
Sure.
Right? Like the coolest job that you can have in the big leagues is being a first base coach or a first baseman. That means you're giving a high five to somebody at first base, and all things are good.
So you're friends with everybody.
I have to be friends with them. As long as I smell good and I can talk to them and tell them how good their day is, we're golden.
So first basemen wear cologne.
That's right.
Every single time. All right, well, we are going to talk a little bit about stealing bases. That doesn't happen at first, right? But we want to get into it as well. It is Taco Bell's Steal a Base, Steal a Taco promotion. It is back. The first stolen base of the World Series will win everyone in America a free Doritos Locos Tacos when you use the Taco Bell app. The last person to do it, you know who it was?
Who was it? Mookie Betts?
That man right there,
Ozzie
Albies.
Mookie Betts. Come on, guys. Yeah, Mookie Betts, there it is. Mr. Ozzie Albies.
Everyone wants to be a taco hero,
I think Jeremy Pena is going to be my guy. He's going to be my pick.
Wait.
Who do you got?
We talked about this earlier. I thought, are you changing horses midstream?
I am. I kind of am.
While we're on the Taco Bell show, come on.
Jeremy Pena, I don't know. I keep talking here back and forth. I don't know who's. All I know is whoever does get it, they're going to eat a lot of tacos.
Yeah, and we want to hear from you out there on Twitter. Who will steal a base in the World Series and win tacos for everyone? Hit me up. I want to know your answer. I am at Sierra Santos on Twitter. I'll have your responses. Remember, it is Sierra with just one R, not 2 R's. Just to clarify that.
I love it.
All right, we're going to get into what's coming up later on in the show. We've got special guests that are joining us. We're actually going to hear from a taco legend himself in Cameron Maybin. It's going to have a lot. We're going to have a lot of fun. We also have players that we're bringing on the show as well. We're catching them as they come directly off the field. So you want to stick with us for that, absolutely. And the Phillies had 108 stolen bases during the regular season compared to only 85 by the Astros. JT Realmuto led the way for Philly with 21 steals, and Kyle Tucker nabbed 26 on the season. We're going to be talking to Astros reliever Bryan Abreu. What do you think has stood out to you about what he's been able to do this season, by the way?
Well, I think when you talk about Abreu, he's been one of those guys that Dusty Baker has put in key situations. You know, for me, he's got a really good slider. He's got that 95, 96, but it's the confidence level, right? It's the ability to, as a Dusty Baker, getting a young guy to say, hey, we believe in you, we trust you. And he even talked to me a little bit about it earlier with Justin Verlander, how much it's helped him to see him every single day go about and competing. And just the feel of that clubhouse, right? The energy of just a Latin environment. There's over 17 Latin guys. They're going to have a good time always, no matter what. But look, he's excited to be here, and he knows how big of a weapon he is in that bullpen. Their bullpen now, very, very good.
As a player who can cross over, right? You're English speaking, you're Spanish speaking. What was it like, though, when you did have a teammate that was a primarily Spanish speaker, to be able to have that sense of community inside the clubhouse?
Here's the problem. The problem is that you're gone from your country for 7-8 months. Okay, you're gone from your food, you're gone from your water, you're gone from your son, you're gone from family, everybody. Mm-hmm. So the more you have people like that kind of enriching you into that clubhouse and making you feel at home, you can kind of come out and do your thing and be comfortable with everybody. And I think that's what's happening here. You talk about these veterans that have been here, Altuve, Yuli Gurriel, Jordan Alvarez, even Alex Bregman, who took it upon himself to learn Spanish and make it comfortable for these guys. I think that's more important than anything else to help these young guys.
All right, so we're talking stolen bases. And one of our very own at MLB Network has an impressive stat. All right, our own Aaron Reynolds led the American League in stolen bases with 60 in 1987.
Jeez.
And guess what he has for us?
What
a lesson.
Oh.
A lesson on the art of the stolen base.
Let's see it.
All right, Sierra, thank you. All right, let's talk about stealing a base. Well, first thing, get to the bag. Now, I want to get out here a little bit early so I can measure my steps. I want to get probably 10, 12 feet out. But when I'm getting off the base in the game, I never want to cross my feet like this. I cross over, that's when they throw back and they pick you off. So I want to shuffle off. I got a pretty good idea of where I'm trying to get to. For some of you younger players, get out early and find a marker, a pole, or a light, or something like that that's not going to move. Now you know you can get to that spot, and this is to my lead. A veteran player, you should have a pretty good idea. For me, I take 1, 2, 3 and a half step, and I know where I'm at. All right, immediately from time spent. Now, once I get my lead, I want to be up in front of the bag or even with it, because I don't want to be back here. See how the pitcher can see the depth perception? So if I come here, I can get a pretty good lead, and from his angle, doesn't look like I'm very far off the base. The next thing I want to do, make sure I do the same thing every time. I don't want to get a lead and put my hands out here when I'm going to steal and go like this, or next time I'm not running, I go like this. I'm telling the defense what I'm going to do. So I want to do the same thing every time I'm not running, or if I'm out here and I am running. So for me, my hands used to lean a lot. So I learned, I just put my hands like here. And I left them there every time, whether I was going to run or wasn't going to run, and I didn't tip them off. So now once you get to that point, now it's about the crossover. Last thing I would say, open that foot just a little bit. So now this leg is an even point to second base. My crossover is real easy. Boom, right here, I'm lined up, ready to go. If I'm up here like this, that's gonna force me to step this way, and now I'm offline, I gotta come back. All right, just a little tip. So you get here, I got my lead, I'm comfortable, same thing, boom, I'm off and running. Oh, and you thought I wasn't coming back. That's what it looks like when you take off. Now, who's gonna steal the bag, you're saying, Sierra? It's gonna be Altuve. Come on now, he steals a lot of bases. Back to you.
You know the most impressive part of that whole demo?
Talk to me.
He was doing it in his suit.
Oh man, he's as OG and as savage as it gets.
He's so really
swaggy.
is.
Harold Reynolds, the swaggiest guy on MLB Network.
I know. Reynolds Rap, we really appreciate the prediction. Our friends at Out of the Park Baseball 23, they're here to help us out. They ran 1,000 simulations yonder of the World Series. Here are the results. Kyle Tucker tops the list, averaging 3 steals per series. Well, Jeremy Pena, your guy, and Brandon Marsh averaged 2 steals. JT Realmuto and Gene Segura will round out the list. All right, we are getting you ready for Game 1 of the World Series.
Oh, look at that hat.
I need a hat. And he has it customized? He has it
That's
customized?
doing it right there.
Oh, my goodness. We need one of those. We also need beards.
Look at that beard.
Oh, the fans are showing out.
Great fans.
The fans really
Piña
are
power,
showing
the
out.
Gurriel.
Oh, man. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's going to be loud. We're going to have a good time. We now welcome in Bryson Stott of the Phillies, and you did something that no one has ever done before, reaching base 4 times against Max Scherzer. You're going up against another Cy Young Award winner today. What is your game plan against Verlander?
I mean, I'm not going to say too much, but
keep it a secret. It's cool.
Yeah,
it's
no.
cool.
I mean, you know how good these guys are, and I mean, every pitcher makes a mistake, and you just can't miss it. So we'll look for those mistakes today.
I just want to ask you about, the friendship you have with Bryce Harper. Obviously, it's taken him forever, it feels like, to get to a postseason, to a World Series like this. And now you're on your first year, and you got a World Series. Now, do you talk a little smack with him at times?
No, it's just, I mean, all the veterans are like, you guys, it's not this, like, it's not always like this. It's not this easy. And, like, Gene's been in the league 11 years, and JT, and just a bunch of guys. They're just messing around, but, I mean, having tons of fun with each other, and knowing that this is what everybody wants to play for, so.
Yeah, how much have you learned from that experience with having a guy like Harper, having a guy like Schwarber, these lefty poppers every single day going in and battling out there with you?
Yeah, I mean, they're second to none in the leadership category, I think, and Schwarber's always got the right thing to say. Can't really tell you what it is. It's just the right thing at all times. So just being able to watch his at-bats and Bryce's at-bats on the iPad and see how, I mean, I don't get pitched the same as those two by any means, but you could see the shapes and stuff that you need to see from pitchers, especially them being at the top of the line.
Right.
So.
Now, some people may not know this, but you go way, way back with Bryce, as far as, I believe it was your mom was his sister's cheerleading coach. Is that correct? Is that the right lineage?
Yeah.
What was that like growing up and having that kind of representation? I read that you have so many people from Las Vegas that come out and support you guys. What's it like to get that kind of love from your city?
Yeah, I mean, it's a big city people-wise, but it's a small city in kind of area. It's just a little valley. So, I mean, everybody knows everybody, and it's just the baseball community is very tight-knit, and I mean, high school coaches and club ball coaches, I mean, they all come out, and I mean, we've had some of the same coaches just running through those baseball academies and stuff like that. So just kind of seeing people that in the stands and seeing where you came from is awesome.
One last question for me, man. Now, I was in the last round watching my Padres, but let me tell you, man, your walkout song is by far my favorite song that you came out to, A-OK. I mean, that stadium is electric every time you put it on. How did that come about?
I mean, I've had it for a couple years now, but I mean, in the regular season, it was like I would hear a few people here and there singing it, and I used to have 2 walk-up songs, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to change it to see if it kind of gets it going. And I mean, towards the end of the year, regular season, it was being everyone was into it, and the postseason now it's
I
electric.
love it.
Wait, what was the one you ditched?
I had like a few. I was just like mixing it up. I always kept A-OK, and I mean, I had Drift Away one time,
okay.
And yeah, some other country songs, like just trying to cycle through one, but I always kept A-OK. But
it's a good one.
That one's gonna stick.
That's a keeper.
Yeah,
That's Ty Birthdays, right?
Yeah, he retweeted it actually the other
he
day.
did?
Yeah.
I bet you he reached out to you.
Nice.
So yeah, that was cool.
I like that. Good stuff,
awesome.
man.
Yeah,
Well, good luck
appreciate
today.
Good luck,
Thank
man.
you. Thank you guys
Have a
for
good
having
one.
me.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
You are watching Batting Practice Live, presented by Taco Bell. We are getting you ready for Game 1 of the 2022 World Series, and looking at these side-by-side comparisons of Aaron Nola and Justin Verlander. Verlander winless in his 7 World Series appearances in his career. We already mentioned it once. He is 0-6. I am so sure that he is sick of hearing that number, a 5.68 ERA in those appearances. But how about this? He's the 4th oldest pitcher to start a Game 1 of the World Series in Major League Baseball history.
Yeah, he's 39 years old. He knows what he's doing. He knows how to compete. It's just odd for me that he's 0-6, and it's odd for me that he's got a 5.68 ERA. I think for me, when I look at him and what he's got to do today is, look, we know the Phillies hit the fastballs up in the zone. he's going to have to throw those sliders. Those sliders are going to be very, very important to get ahead of guys. He's going to be commanding the inside part of the half to lefty, especially the Schwarbers, the Harpers, and then to righties, he's just got to fool with them, use their aggressiveness. Remember, he's been here before. A lot of these Phillies guys have never been here before.
Sure.
So he knows what to expect. He's kind of got them behind the 8 ball, and I think that's key for Justin Verlander.
Well, Verlander will now, after today, pitch in 3 different decades.
Unbelievable.
That's an incredible statistic.
Yeah.
You talk about longevity.
He's a legend.
It is Justin Verlander, and he talked about that very thing of being 0-6 in the World Series.
That'd be wonderful. I think Dusty and I both would like to check off, my first World Series win, his first World Series championship. I think that'd be a wonderful thing for us to have on our career list. I think it's not my goal, though. My goal is not to go out there and win a baseball game. There's been games in the World Series that I don't deserve a win. There's been games that I thought I pitched well enough that we could get a win. It just didn't work out. It just, at this point in the season, personal goals like that just don't matter. Try to win the game however you can. I was one of the happiest people in the world game 1 against Seattle when we won that game. I pitched like crap, but we won. Doesn't matter anymore. So it would be nice, though.
It would be nice, though. It certainly would be nice for Justin Verlander to get his first ever World Series win today. He already had that one hiccup throughout this postseason, so you got to think that he's pretty locked in yonder.
Yeah, I think so too. I think for me, one of the keys I want to stick on is his velocity. Last time he was out with Seattle, he was just 93, 94. He was living in the heart of the plate. I want to see more of that first pitch, 97, 98, 96. I want that ALCS Game 1 in 2022, where he was 11 strikeouts with 1 walk and 103 pitches. That's what the Justin Verlander that I know and that I face, that's what he's about. He's an old sport. He knows what he's doing. He's going to be ready to go Game 1.
Is there any type of intimidation factor when it comes to, when you're talking about facing JV, obviously it's a difficult task, but when the stakes are raised and it's Game 1 of the World Series and you've got this young Phillies team, is there any type of nerve that goes up when you say, oh my gosh, I'm facing JV in Game 1 of the World Series?
Look, I think for me as an athlete, you always think you have a chance. You don't let that get into your head, but you definitely know waking up that you have a tough challenge, and the tough challenge is Justin Verlander. You're not facing the number 3, the number 4. You're facing a GOAT.
Yeah.
Right? You're facing a guy that's, when he retires, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. So it's a tough task, but you're in the World Series. You're going to face the best of the best.
And the best of the best for the Phillies. You got Aaron Nola opposing Justin Verlander. He is the longest tenured Philly on that squad.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to be dynamic as well. I like for him to use more of that 4-seamer. I know he's got a really good slider. He's got a good 2-seamer. But, man, he is an absolute dog. He's going to be on full rest completely. And let's not forget, the last time they faced each other on October 3rd, he was dialed in. He threw 6 innings. He was as good as he gets. By the way, it was the last time the Houston Astros lost a game. By the way, they've been undefeated since.
Don't you love
it's
that
unbelievable.
Irony, though? The last time the Astros lost was against Aaron Nola on October 3rd. He took a perfect game into the 7th here at Minute Maid Park on October 3rd. So he has this comfortability.
Yeah, he's done it already.
Yeah.
Right? It's always nice when you have some type of like, I used to come here and I used to love hitting here. I loved the box. I always had good numbers here. I always felt comfortable. There's nothing worse than going to a place where you haven't had good numbers, you don't feel so comfortable, and all of a sudden now you're in a World Series, probably your biggest game of your career, and you're already behind the 8-ball knowing that you're uncomfortable and whatever reasons you got. That's tough. Nola doesn't feel like that. He feels like he's comfortable on the mound. He's done it already. It's just different for him. I think he'll be ready. That's
something that Rob Thompson also touched on as well. He said that Nola is a playoff pitcher in the sense that he's got the stuff, he's got the demeanor, he's got the poise, and he's also accustomed to pitching here, and he pitched very well in his last outing, and that was something that Nola touched upon as well when he talked to the media.
Guess we'll find out, but it's nice to be able to pitch on this mound for the first time, the last time we were here, just to kind of get a feel for it and know how it holds up. So I think that's an advantage to that part. But, I mean, obviously, like you said, it's a different stage of when the last time we played here. It's a good team that we're playing against, so and we are too. So I think we'll see tomorrow, and we'll see this series.
Nola also led the team in pitching wins above replacement in the regular season.
When a base is stolen in the World Series, America wins a free taco from Taco Bell. Steal a base, steal a taco. There he goes. Throw down. Stolen base. America gets a free taco thanks to Ozzie Albies. Jacoby Ellsbury just won America a free taco from Taco Bell.
What a jump Bartlett had. Going on first movement. Gone with too big a jump.
With that stolen base, everyone in America can get a free Doritos Locos taco. Runner goes, throw down, too late.
Clearly great jump, and he's off and going.
There goes the bat. No chance for Ross. Stolen base. There's a new taco hero for 2016, Francisco Lindor. Cameron just became the new 2017 taco hero and scored all of us free Doritos Locos taco. There goes Betts. A steal by Mookie Betts.
That's for everybody. Make sure you go get you a taco.
There goes Turner. Pitches down. Throw to second is too late. Mookie Betts has stolen the first base of the 2020 World Series like he did back in 2018.
You stole tacos for the entire country.
I'm happy I got everybody free tacos.
Twitter, your opinion matters to us. I'm going to ask this again to everyone out there watching. Who will steal a base in the World Series and win everyone in America a free taco? Weigh in. We want to know what you think. You're saying Jeremy Pena.
That's my guy. I think Jeremy Pena is my guy. Hitting in the 2-hole, he's going to get on base, and then he's going to just do his thing.
You know what? I like to go off numbers. You know, the simulator said Kyle Tucker. I'm going Kyle Tucker.
I like that.
Taco Bell's steal a base, steal a taco. Looking at the last 7 taco heroes in the World Series, it is awarded to the player with the first stolen base of each World Series. And on that list in 2017 is our guy, Cameron Maybin. Cameron joins us now. What was it like to feed America, Cameron?
You know what? It felt great. You know what? To get your team a bag, put your team in a position to score a run and get energized, but to know that you're going to feed America, you know, that was really cool. And even to this day, you know, going back all those years, you still get people thanking you for winning them a taco. So, you know, when you feed America, good things happen.
Did you get anything else?
You know what? I had a nice little gift. I had a nice little cash prize. We won't say how much, but Taco Bell definitely looked out for you, boy. And then I got a super sweet, a special Taco Bell Xbox. When it comes on and makes a Taco Bell boom, it's pretty sick, super heavy. So that they really looked out for me for stealing that bag. And really, at the end of the day, I put our team in a situation. George Springer came up huge, hit a huge home run to kind of lift us that year. So a lot of good things happened.
I want to ask you a little bit about that team that you were on. How similar is it to this team that's in the World Series right now?
Yeah, that team that I was on in 17 was a really good team. I mean, up and down, the rotation was as solid as you're going to get. Guys like, you know, Verlander in there, Big Smoke, Joe Musgrove, you saw what he did in San Diego during the playoffs, incredible. And then the core guys like Alex Bregman, guys that, you know, were here doing the Altuve's still here. But this team, I think, is even more complete. I think they do all of the things really well. They stretch the lineup out. They put the ball in play. They don't beat themselves, and I think that's what you've seen this year. They've quietly gone under the radar, continue just to be consistent, win games in so many different types of ways.
If you're the Phillies, what do you need to do to go 1-1 out of here?
Well, we know that Nola's going to be on the mound. Nola, Wheeler, they've been their go-to dogs. They won 5 out of their 9 starts in the postseason, so they're going to really rely on those guys to come in early and shut them down. You don't want to let those guys score first. I think you see teams that score first have a lot of success in the postseason, so you want to keep those bats quiet.
There's something to be said for chemistry as well with this team, Cameron.
Absolutely. Chemistry goes a long way. We just talked about it before we came out here. There's no staff of character. And when you come out here right now, we walked out, we talked to a few guys already, you can see the trust in each other. You can see the confidence that they have as a group. And it's transpired throughout the season. And you've seen the postseason. Undefeated, has not lost a game, which is unheard of when you talk about how good the teams are that have been in the playoffs, how hot they've been. An incredible group to watch.
They're confident, they're swaggy.
Oh, yeah.
They walk around knowing that they're pretty good. Kind of like my boy right here with the swag fit, my man. Talk to me about the swag fit. My goodness.
When you look at the roster, you see who you're working with, you know you better come with it. I know I had Sierra, I know I had Jude, so I can't be playing around. You got to come with it.
Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? You know who picked out my outfit today?
Who was that? Don't say yonder.
Fox Bucks, bro.
Let's go. See, my guy. See, I knew it. Let's go.
Hey, show me the ring.
Right there.
That's a winner right there. That's a winner right there, man. Congratulations,
boys, see what
man.
they do. Cool stuff.
Good stuff,
See if they can do it again.
Okay, any predictions on who's going to steal a base?
You know what? I said it. I'm going to stick to it. I'm going to go with Kyle Tucker. I think he does a lot of things extremely well, and I think he'll get the first bag.
All right. Well, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it as always.
That was awesome.
Woo! Well, it may have been raining cats and dogs outside. By the way, Cameron Maybin with the swag all the time.
And the ring and the swag, I love it.
Putting us to shame. Those are some guys with some swag as well. Phillies getting ready for Game 1 of the 2022 World Series. And with all this talk about tacos today, that got us sinking. What about our favorite Oppo Taco home runs that were hit this postseason? Let's take a look.
I got the energy.
Bell on a 3-1 pitch, and the Padres take Scherzer out and grab a 2-0 lead. Siri unloads, and just like that, the Rays have a 1-0 lead.
And Alvarez has done it again. He has put the Astros in front. Oh my goodness!
Bryce Harper, exclamation!
3-run shot by Stanton, solo by Judge. 4-0 Yanks.
He got it up! Home run Harper!
And Chas McCormick, opposite field home run. Chas McCormick, the Astros center fielder, has come to play here in the postseason.
Harper, the swing of his life! Bryce Harper has the Phillies on the verge of the World Series. This is like something straight out of a movie.
Welcome back to Batting Practice Live, presented by Taco Bell. Rafael Montero, part of that really tough bullpen yonder.
Oh, man, you know what's coming when Rafael Montero is on the mound. Heaters after heaters after heater. He is electric. He can just pitch every time when he goes out with just his fastball. That's how good it is. People know it's coming, and they still can't hit it.
And taking a look at the 2022 postseason bullpen stats for the Houston Astros, you look at that airtight ERA sitting at .82 in 33 innings, a whip of .52. And man, one of the fixtures of that bullpen joins us right now, Bryan Abreu. And Bryan, how has your role kind of evolved over this season? You've now, like I just said, become one of the most important people out of that pen.
I mean, just my biggest problem was because I couldn't find the strike zone before, and now I just putting all my patience on the plate.
I want to ask you about, in the Dominican Republic, you were a big Justin Verlander fan, and now you're here in the World Series Game 1. You're going to see him pitch. When you're out there in the bullpen, all right, and you're watching Verlander get ready and do his thing, how awesome is that for you? Is it a dream come true, or is it more of like, hey, I might be actually having to come into the game in the 8th inning to make sure that I can get him out of a jam?
I mean, yeah, it's a dream come true, like watching Verlander as a young kid, and it's a privilege being having him as a teammate, and it's also a privilege when he's pitching and I have to come in and try to help him to get a W.
Were you watching videos of him on YouTube? Like, how were you studying him when you were a kid? Did you estaba mirando como videos por YouTube? What were you doing?
Yes, I just watched a lot of videos of Verlander on YouTube when he was in Detroit.
Mucho YouTube.
Mucho YouTube. Like he's pumping gas, throwing 99, 100, and that nasty curve that he has, and that was impressive to me.
Hey, talk to me a little bit about Dusty Baker. Talk to me a little bit about what he's meant to you. I know he takes care. Dusty Baker was my first manager as a rookie, so I know for you as a young guy, how has he been to you?
He's been an awesome manager, having a really good trust in me and confidence, and he just gave me the opportunity that I need in the regular season, and he just trying to push me forward.
That's awesome.
And I have work and explain how grateful I am with him.
One last question from me on my end, at least. You guys have over 18 Latin players on this team. How easy is that for you to come into the clubhouse and kind of just mesh with everybody? You even have Bregman talking to you in Spanish. How awesome is that kind of atmosphere in the clubhouse? Just to a sense of home, it feels like.
Yeah, it feels like you're home. you're creating that brotherhood in the clubhouse, and we just seeing all the guys that are very kind, very lovely, being around them, and you just feel amazing in there.
Go get some rice and beans, huh?
Yeah.
Hey. Throw that nasty mangú and go throw that slider.
Pollo guisado.
Yeah, a lot of pollo guisado, mangú, egg.
Ay. ¿Qué lo que con qué lo que?
Dámelo.
That's it.
Muchísimas gracias. Suerte hoy.
Dale, caballete. Suerte, caballo. Sí.
The American League Championship Series, Boston Red Sox and the Houston Astros.
Houston's next goal, to become back-to-back World Series winners.
Three-run double. Boston on top. That's at the track. He leaps.
And he gets stopped from catching it from the hand of the fan.
Game saver. The Red Sox win.
And this one is gone. It hits the foul pole.
The Washington Nationals are world champions.
Dusty Baker is going to be back inside a big league dugout with Houston.
But he has had many postseason disappointments, some of them epic.
The Tampa Bay Rays have won the American League pennant.
Back-to-back Braves take the lead.
The Atlanta Braves win it all.
Alvarez launches deep right field. This one is gone.
Who's your daddy?
Pitch after pitch, just tantalizing these Mariner hitters. Jeremy Pena.
That's what they've been waiting for. They sweep the Mariners.
How about Verlander? Man, did he settle in. 11 strikeouts.
See you later.
And Chas McCormick, opposite field home run. It is gone. A 3-run poke.
Swing and a miss. 5 strikeouts for Christian Javier.
Chas McCormick, lightning in a bottle.
Did he ever?
The Astros have tied it. Bregman, the RBI machine.
The Houston Astros, they're headed back to the World Series.
How about Dusty Baker? The most games managed without winning a World Series. And Dusty Baker is going back to the World Series with a chance to knock that off his record.
All right, taking a look at this list, most managerial wins without a World Series title. And at the very top is Dusty Baker with 2,093 managerial wins. And one of the things that I've noticed when I've been talking to people about this World Series yonder is that they may not be an Astros fan, but they are a Dusty fan. And if they don't have a rooting interest in the Phillies, it seems as though everybody wants to see Dusty get that ring.
Yeah, I think he deserves it, right? And it's funny, I look at that list right there, and I played for 2 of them. I played for Bob Melvin, and I played for Dusty Baker. And
so it's your fault.
It could be my fault. I mean, maybe it is my fault, guys. But you know what? Good thing I'm not playing in this World Series. Yeah. I think he's got a shot, if any, probably one of the best shots that he's had in his career, and I think for me, the reason why people pull for him, that's where I'm going to go with this. It's just he's so caring. He takes care of everybody. He respects everybody. He thinks everybody can help him on the team. And I remember the first time I met him, he said to me, hey, you're going to be one of our guys. You're going to lean on us, and we're going to lean on you, and you're going to be one of the guys. And he didn't even know me. He didn't even know how I played. But you know what? He understood what the pressure of being a baseball player is all about, and he gets it. He's been there. He's done it. He's amazing.
That's one of the things that was interesting when we first started talking about doing this show, is you brought up the fact that Dusty was your first ever manager. What does he do for a young guy other than give him that reassurance that you're going to be a guy, you're going to be one of our guys? How does he bring these guys up and just make them feel part of the included?
I think he's so good at communicating. When I remember coming up, it was me and our oldest Chapman, and we were just the 2 Cuban guys on the same team in Cincinnati, and we will be in Milwaukee, and he'll come and he'll bring you a little side of Cuban food for you in the middle of Milwaukee. Be like, hey, I got you a little bit of rice and beans for a little bit of chicken or whatever, a little bit of this. Hey, you're going to play in the next 2 days. You're going to be off tomorrow. And that's what a manager does. That's what a good manager does, where he can prepare you for the next day. No player likes to be kind of, I guess, surprised by anything. And Dusty Baker does such a good job, not only with their stars of the team, but even the backup guys or their role guys or their bench guys, to make sure they're prepared for everything that they have and everything that they would face. And that's why Dusty Baker, you can talk to anybody in this game, they love him and they respect him, and they think that, even if he doesn't win, he's still a champion in people's eyes. But I think he's got a good shot.
But in the opposite dugout yonder, there is another manager that knows how to rally his guys, and that is Rob Thompson. What can you say with how he ended up turning this club around?
It's funny, he's only managed for 111 games, but let's not get fooled now. This guy has been around forever. He's the first Canadian to ever manage in a World Series. He's smooth as wine, man. He is unbelievable. He's got a presence in him. He goes into the clubhouse and he knows how to act. You know, one of the things about him is that he knows the different characters of that team, right? He can manage characters. That's why he's been a bench guy. That's why he's been a third base coach. That's why he's been always in a dugout in crucial situations. He's been on winning teams as well. This guy has won now in the past, right? So I think for me, that staff and what he's brought, Thompson, to that organization has been nothing but a blessing.
How much is it being a psychiatrist almost as a manager at that point?
You have to be. And I think especially when he took over the team, this was a team that was pretty much sinking. And they were sinking fast. And he took care of that team, and he was as real as it gets.
The anchors were in the water.
The anchors were in the water, and he told them, hey, this is what we need to do to get out of it. We're going to take it one day at a time. And by the way, it doesn't hurt, right? When you get a different schedule. When he came in, it was an easier schedule. And by the way, they went on an absolute tear as well on top of that. But look, kudos to them. It's not easy. I mean, it's a big league team. No matter who you're facing, everybody wants a big house. And I think when you look at him and what he's done and the project he's done has been nothing but fantastic. And I'm glad that he's going to be able to come back. Right, they kind of took that interim managerial thing away.
He earned it.
And they said, hey, you know what? You earned this. You're going to be back with us. And by the way, no better feeling than that to have that for him.
What do you think? How did the players, though, buy in so quickly?
You know, I think that probably happened in spring training. You know, and your bench coach is that one guy that you talk to the most besides your manager, right? Like the bench coach is the guy that tells you, hey, you're going to be off tomorrow, or this is your schedule for spring training.
So
this is what you got going on.
Trust.
It was already a trust. They already know that if anything, more of that trust because, hey, how's your body feeling? How's everything going? How's your family? And I think for him, he talked about it in the press conference just yesterday where he said, I treat everybody the same, with the same respect. This is who I am. No matter who you are, I'm going to treat you the same way. I'm going to treat you the right way. And I think players can gravitate towards that. And look, this is a winner. There's no reason why people think like, oh, who is this guy? Who's not? What is he? He's a winner. He's always won. Right. So I think for him, he's in line, and I guarantee you, he's thinking we're going to take game 1 and possibly game 2 here in Houston.
You got to have that kind of confidence.
You got to.
You got to have that kind of confidence. And whoever is going to be the taco hero of the World Series needs to have that type of confidence too. We reached out to everybody on Twitter. We wanted to know what you think. Who will steal a base in the World Series and win everyone in America a free taco? Here are the initial poll results that we have. We've got 09 Okie saying Bryce Harper in the 3rd inning tonight. Yo, he even called an inning.
Bryce Harper in the 3rd inning?
Tonight.
I think that's going to happen way sooner than that.
What?
100%. Oh, there's going to be action here today. I think the first 2 innings, this thing's a wrap.
Oh my goodness. Do we have any other ones? Let's see. It looks like A.M. Herbert, Kyle, Tucker. See, somebody else goes with the simulation. Somebody else relies on the numbers. I appreciate it.
I'm not so much of an analytics guy. I'm going with my guy Pena.
You go with your heart. EWB_68 says Real Muto.
I'll tell you what, Real Muto, though, one of the best base runners in the game of baseball for a catcher. He's got a good chance.
All right, do we have any other ones? Let's see here. We've got OC Dan 74, and he says Marshy, baby.
Ooh, Marshy. I don't know. That might be more like in the 3rd inning. So I don't know if that's going to happen unless they have a long inning.
I really like that you think that there's going to be that much action
be quick.
on the bases.
This is going to be quick.
Hey.
There's that good beard, though. Look at that thing.
He's ready to go. He's ready to go. He looks like a taco hero.
He does look like a taco hero.
I kind of look like a taco hero.
What's your favorite thing to order at Taco Bell?
Crunchwrap Supreme. What are you talking about?
I like the quesadillas. That's my go-to.
That's your go-to?
Yeah, that's my go-to. Easy.
That's so simple.
Easy peasy. That's it.
I would have thought you would have been more like into the
chicken quesadilla. Let's go get them.
Okay, I'm all right with that. That's not a cheesy gordita crunch?
No. I'm simple. I'm just a simple guy.
A simple guy.
You know, con que lo que.
Yeah, con un poquito de arroz y habichuela. That's all he needs. He'll take the rice and beans over the quesadilla, but that's okay. I'm hoping that we see somebody win us that taco tonight.
Oh, it's going to happen tonight. Guarantee it.
And we had so much fun on this show,
Oh, yeah,
right?
we had a lot of fun.
It's game 1 of the World Series. How can you
This
not
energy,
have fun?
it's just they're ready
It's
to roll,
starting to
baby.
build.
They're ready to roll.
It's starting to build. Fans are in the building. Players are all stretched out and ready to go. It is the 118th Fall Classic. I'm Sierra Santos for Yonder Alonso. That's going to do it for us. We'll see you right back here for Game 2.